Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for attending this 2022 Global Metaverse and NFT webinar. We have three wonderful speakers tonight, and the topics are all about NFT, Metaverse, and DeFi. For today's event, we have prepared one for Pope medals for you, and also you have the opportunities to get the book, The Comprehensive Guide to NFT Digital Artwork and Blockchain Technology from one of our speakers, Mr. Beckman. I don't think it will be a problem, but for the chat use, please be respectful to each other. And if you have questions, please leave it in the chat room and we will select one or two questions if we still have time. Our first speaker is Mr. Mark Beckman. He is the CEO of DMA United, and he's also the professor at New York University Stern MBA Marketing. Today, he will be sharing something about the use case of NFTs and Metaverse in lifestyle areas such as fashion art, music, and sports. Mr. Beckman, you may start whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for attending. So my background is interesting. When Bo mentioned the use cases of NFTs and the metaverse, I am evaluating not so much from a technology base, but rather from a use case scenario, particularly as it relates across fashion, lifestyle platforms, such as fashion, art, music, sports, and entertainment. My background, just by way of introduction, is interesting. I own an agency named DMA United. We are an award-winning advertising agency that also provides representation services for individuals and brands. And what we've done is we've built here in New York City a polycultural platform where we sit at the center of this platform and extend into fashion, art, music, sports, and entertainment. So our clients are Karl Lagerfeld, Tom Ford, Sony Music, Warner Brothers Entertainment. We work very closely with Nelson Mandela's family. Pepsi's been a client of ours for almost a decade. And essentially what we do is we develop and implement strategy for them that includes both brand communications as well as new business ventures. My entrance into this world of Web3 started more than 2 years ago when our agency was hired to create a top-tiered culinary digital platform. And it was during that experience where I met people that were working on the foundational blockchain work, specifically the team from Tezos. And it was at that moment in time where I realized there were phenomenal use cases as it relates to this technology, starting with NFTs and then extending beyond that. So what we did was we set up a joint venture. And since then, it's been really full speed ahead for us, for me individually, as well as for our agency. I now, at this point in my career, have, in a very short period of time, the experience of building 2 separate platforms on blockchain for lifestyle, let's say, oriented NFTs, one on Tezos, as well as one on Solana. And we've onboarded more than 40 individuals and brands across different blockchain protocols, including, of course, Ethereum, which I know is probably paramount to this audience and this discussion. Our clients today in that space range from Condé Nast, where we'll be launching a new program for the New Yorker in April, as well as luxury spirits brands. We've launched programs internationally with globally known cosmetic companies like Nars, Elite, really the best modeling agency on the planet, like IMG Models, We've also worked with some great charities, 501c3s, and created charitable overlays that include initiatives such as Save the Chimps, the Trevor Project, and Parlay of the Ocean. So that's my background. We're paying a lot of attention right now to NFTs, specifically dynamic NFTs, where we're selling more than just digital artwork, where there's a utilitarian component to it, where the holder or the owner can unlock certain types of redeemables, get access to limited edition merchandise, exclusive experiences, unique services. We're also going deep into the metaverse in general, which, as everybody is aware, isn't as simple as just building a brand, building its own metaverse. So we see a lot of value in that as it relates to both an individual's digital identity and then forward-looking a brand's identity. So, Bo, I hope that's a good starting point on my side. I'll leave it to you.
Okay, thank you for the wonderful lecturing. Yes, we have a little question for you. Is that, do you think is there any like legal issues if we use NFTs in our real life cases?
Legal issues as it relates to what specifically? I mean, there are some. Are you talking about ownership of art? Are you talking about the tax implications? What types of topics are you thinking about specifically?
I think it's more about like the music and the art used in real life cases.
Yes. So that's a great question, Bo. Starting with music, I really like the fact that you brought up music, and I haven't touched on it yet. We've done a good amount of work in the music space, and we're doing some incredible programs, not just for disseminating music directly from the bands and the artists to the consumers, but we're also creating these incredible experiences surrounding the culture of a band or a musician, a hip hop artist, and beyond. But for sure, there are legal issues with regards to use of music, because keep in mind, there are certain laws, such as publishing laws or sync laws, that contractually bind the creators to that music. So for sure, there are different layers of issues that come into play as it relates to the rights of the music and the sale thereof, as well as how the music can be applied. So it's not just about distribution of the music, but it's also about if like for advertising purposes, a corporation would like to come in and use it, they need to think in terms of publishing and sync rights as well. So there are definitely legal issues as it relates to music in the music industry specifically.
Okay, all right, Professor Beckman. I also have concerns about, do you have any like the cases you have made with your company you want to share with us? Like, well, you mentioned the Tom Ford and NBAs, something like that.
Well, those clients, we have not, just to be clear, although we work with, like, for example, we built the NBA's fashion vertical and partnered them with internationally acclaimed fashion brands like Zadig and Voltaire, the Kooples, Jeremy Scott, Maison Kitsune, even one of my favorite all-time designers, Marcelo Berlan. But we haven't activated the NBA in the NFT space. As you're probably aware, Dapper Labs handles that. But I think a great example is something I referenced before in the fashion space, which is the Nars Cosmetics program that we put together, which was tremendously successful and I'm very proud of. With Nars Cosmetics, our goal was twofold. It was to optimize the commercial value of the program for Nars, while also building brand awareness and relevancy in this tech space. So what we did was we architected a program for Nars surrounding one of their best-selling all-time items. The color actually is called Orgasm. And what we did was we had our advertising agency tee up a program that really embraced women from all over the world, beyond, it was a big inclusivity program beyond the obvious. So we considered race and nationalities, we considered age, And what we did for Nars was we brought in 3 separate artists to launch this program. Sarah Shaquille, who is an artist living in London, fantastic artist, does a lot of work in the hip hop space. The second artist was a fashion designer from here in New York, who we partnered with Gucci, named Zed Jean-Pierre. Zed is fantastic, really talented woman. And then the third artist that we used is a Russian DJ named Nina Kravitz, who is fantastic. And everyone here might be familiar with Nina's work. She's probably the best known. She was in Cyberpunk 2027 or 2077, or whatever that game was. Each artist created their version of an expression surrounding orgasm, which was fantastic. And then in some instances, we tiered a different pricing structure. Some were limited edition and one was open to everyone. And what we did was effectively use the technology to serve as a marketing engine to trigger sales digitally, but then to also tie back and offer physical product that wasn't available in any other point of distribution, whether digital or physical, all over the world, which also was very successful.
Okay, very interesting. The last question is, do you want to share some cases to us about how NFT and Metaverse combine? Do you have any cases in your books or some interesting stories about that?
Sure. I'll tell you something that is very interesting that we're working right now as it relates to the Metaverse. A lot of brands right now are coming to our agency and they're asking us to help them enter the Metaverse. And the problem is that, as everyone here is probably aware, it's not as simple as just doing so. You can't just one can't just easily build their own Metaverse. There are financial constraints. There are also, in my opinion right now, there's a shortage of great qualified developers. So what we're suggesting to our clients, Bo, is to develop a hierarchy of priorities that include both marketing value and commercial value, so that when brands enter the Metaverse, they have the ability to bring all of their fans along to surprise them and delight them with something new in the digital space. But then furthermore, to create an ongoing utility piece that perhaps takes on a individual's identity within a metaverse, and maybe it's apparel, maybe it's accessories, but there's a utility to these objects that are sold within the metaverse that can then be offered and resold in a forward-looking green type of way.
All right, very interesting. Thank you. Thank you, Professor Beckman. And our next speaker is Professor Zehua Wang, and he is the founder of Verilog smart contract auditing firm in Vancouver, Canada. And he is also the professor at University of British Columbia. He designed the curriculum for the blockchain graduate program in UBC and developed the new blockchain courses for master and PhD students. And he received many awards and grants from Canadian government for smart contracts and cybersecurity research. He will be sharing something about DeFi, NFT, and Metaverse with us. Professor Wang, you may start now whenever you're ready.
Very cool. Thank you for the intro, Bob. Yeah, very glad to be here. And then I would like to welcome everyone attending this event. And I really appreciate this opportunity to share some of my opinions in DeFi and NFT and Metaverse. Well, I think that today or this week may not be a good time to talk about the DeFi, because the market dropped a lot, and then actually the DeFi this area, this DeFi has multiple tracks, but all of the tracks are changing very fast. So I prepared slides, and let me share the slides. I will try to introduce how the DeFi can be used in NFT and in Metaverse, and then how this all of these three keywords, buzzwords can be intertwined, and then what's the opportunities for us in both academia and the industry. Let me share the screen. Okay. Not sure if you can see the screen. Could you please confirm, Bo?
You can see the screen.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so a very quick, thank you, a very quick self-introduction. I'm a adjunct professor with the University of British Columbia, and then since 2016, the blockchain at UBC has put a lot of resources in the blockchain and then related area. There is graduate pathway program in UBC. We recruit master and PhD students every year until 2025. So we are in the middle of the entire projects. And then I designed a curriculum for this program, including the foundation of blockchain and software engineering in blockchain. I'm personally technical person. I got my bachelor degree in software engineering and got my PhD degree in UBC. So with this blockchain program, and then we introduce our students and how to develop the blockchain and how to develop also the dApp on the blockchain based on the Solidity Ethereum. Basically, all of those blockchain support UEM, then we can develop on. And in this year, we focus on the DeFi. So it's a good time to talk about the opportunity of DeFi in the NFT and in Metaverse. So let me start. Oh, besides, it's worth mentioning that I'm a co-founder of the Verilog Auditing. I'm from the technical background, engineering background, and also doing the blockchain security. So we also have audited bunch of those famous projects, including the WooFi swap, which is decentralized exchange developed by Woo Network, and also we audited the Uniswap. Uniswap is the first DEX launched in Oasis network. I personally also have connections with Dong-Song, Russ Dong-Song in UC Berkeley, who is the founder of the Oasis network. Okay, so let's start. The opportunities of DeFi and NFT Metaverse. If anyone have any questions, just feel free to stop me, and I will be glad to take the questions, or you can ask me questions in the end of the talk. Okay, so here is a brief history of humankind. I think that if we want to talk about the Web3, want to talk about any blockchain project, we need to talk about the community. And then we know that launching a DeFi project or NFT project, the community is very, very important. Actually, then across the entire human history, then we have two words and to talk about the communities. One is tribe, one is community. Tribe is actually the very old fashion of the community, but we do not. But people may not have a faith. People may not have law, have the ethics. They do not have the rule or values in the tribe. A tribe is just describe. Okay, you can see that. I purposely just removed those modifiers or decorators. What's a tribe? Tribe just refer to a human social group. But for community, I think that the blockchain is entirely a community. But the different people in this community, they focus on different level of protocols. Some people works on the application, some people works on the infrastructure, some people works on the layer 1 or layer 2, different kind of the technologies to improve the capability or the scalability. And some people focus on the AMT, some people focus on the DeFi. And even in the AMT and DeFi, the people have different kind of sub communities, and each one of them has their core value. A community is just a social unit, and then such as people appreciate the same norm, religion, value, custom, and identity. So I think that understand this is very easy to understand why then some of the NFT community is so hot, but some are not. And why then some of the DeFi products is so attractive. A lot of people and then stake their money in and do the liquidity mining and push up the TVL, but some of DeFi projects may not have the same the hotness. So it's basically in this in current blockchain area, no matter which area you're working on, we want to sell our ideas to others. And then we try to persuade them people to join this community, okay? And we want this project to be heard by more and more people. So come back this, so why then we would have the, why now then we have the blockchain? Okay, so blockchain was first invented by Satoshi Sakamoto in the 2009. So people knows that a lot of my students read this white paper of Bitcoin. I would say that the technology and the economy and the culture, they are intertwined, and then they are actually push each other together and then push everything forward. So basically, we want to model the technology and economy, the economic and the cultural changes as a spiral chain. So first, then we have technology, like we have different kind of revolution in technology. The first, second, the third means we have the internet, and definitely the different kind of technology revolution and will give us different kind of economy. Okay, think about then we have the internet, we have the internet industry, where we have a lot of the big name companies, including the Google, Amazon, okay, this Alibaba, okay, and also when we have the economy, when we have the economy chain, then we will have different kind of cultures because it's change our lifestyle, okay, and then they change our value. It will change our culture. So when the culture changes, then we will people start to think about some problem from other angles. Then when we think about some problem from other angle or even from other dimensions, then that we can push the technology forward again. So this is kind of spiral of the technology, economic, and culture. The reason why then we want to talk about this in this piece of slide is that we want to understand, okay, so why we want to have metaverse. So what's actually the driving force behind the metaverse and what the metaverse can bring us and what the metaverse can change in terms of the culture and the economic and backward. So if we want to pursue a better or the flourishing of the metaverse, then what's the new technology that we desire to have in the next 1 or 2 decades? So when we think about the metaverse, we would like to understand why we need that. So first we have the physical world. Our physical world is very limited. So think about who you are in the physical world. You are yourself. You have a name. Name is there's a tag. Well, your age. You have your gender. You have your career, right? And you have no matter which country you are, then you have you are in the level of the wealth pyramid. Okay, so most of us maybe not very poor, but may not be super rich. Okay, but in the cyberspace, it's somehow different. So you can hide your identity. Okay, or at least with the VPN, people do not know where you are, and you can also fake your gender. You can fake your identity. I will not use fake because in metaverse, then you can actually have different kind of genders. You can have different values. You can have different careers. So basic idea in the cyberspace is that you can be yourself, and then you can be you can try to have different kind of lives. People is complicated. Every person is complicated. So in the human world, and you are just yourself. You cannot be multiple of you. Okay? You cannot. Usually then you can whatever you said in one world, then you need to keep your oath. Okay, you cannot change that. But we can use metaverse as a field that we can have multiple layers. And in different layer, then you can be different. And then including that we have different chains and we have different NFTs or games. Or GameFi is also very hot topic. So in different games, you can be with different identity, and you can use. You know that if you are using any ledger, including the MetaMask, the soft one, or you are using some hardware ledger, you can have different accounts, and then you can be yourself with different accounts. And this is something that some picture be widely used when we talk about the metaverse from the academic perspective. So we have, or from technology perspective, we have these 7 layers. And I will say from the layer 1 or layer 4, all of them are the technology side, including infrastructure. For this part, we have like 5G, 6G, and then also we want to have a better computational capacity in the chip. So we have the 7 nanometer or 3 nanometer, this kind of technology, and to have the better communication or computation capabilities. And after that, we have the human interface, including those the wearable devices and the smart glasses, but still fall into the technology field. And then we have the blockchain, okay, and then the edge computing, and to boost our network access, to boost our data access. Then we have the AI agents like smart home. You may have already got the smart devices in your home and to help your daily lives. And we have also the spatial computing like the VR, AR. So also people, a lot of people building the metaverse, and they are using the VR and AR to try to produce the somehow better experience. It's better than the pure NFT if you can just enjoy the NFT in the virtual 3D space. When you wear your VR glass or AR glass, then it can be something can be more mimicked, and you just like that you are living in another universe, right? And besides those technologies, we have the economy, culture built on top. For sure, then no one can actually build the entire universe, okay? And then no one can build the entire metaverse similarly. So metaverse just create a space, and people can contribute their idea. People can create what they want in this virtual or 3D space. Then we have design tools, the assess markets, workflow, and also the commerce service on this creator economy. We try to incentivize people to come to this brand new world in this framework, and come to construct some buildings and then create more arts. We do have a lot of this kind of platform already. Okay, so people can just create an art and sell as an NFT, and the people can just play in the sandbox and then play and do some creative job there. Okay, and discovery. So when you have done your job, you need to let the people know who you are. You need to let the people appreciate your contribution in this area. Then we have the networks, the social fi. Okay, and we have this the rating, storage, credits. Okay, and build on top of this creator economy. And in the very end, we want to boost our experiences. As I said, you are in the real world, you're just yourself, but actually in the metaverse, you can play different kind of roles. You can have different careers, and you have different values. No one knows actually who you are, but you can just be yourself. And the experience is the final goal that people can achieve, and in this metaverse. So why we need this, right? So it's worth mentioning this Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We all say that more and more people and then can have food, water. Okay, it's very secure, and have family and employment. It's not a big deal in the modern society. But the most important is that it's on the top of this pyramid, self actualization. Yeah, I will say that the more people and squeeze on the top, the more real resources we are consuming. And then with the current, but in the real world, our resources is limited. So basically then if we want to satisfy everyone's requirement in the top of this pyramid, it's almost impossible in the real world. But people want to have this self-actualization. Then how we do that? We have this metaverse. So if we want to give a reason why we need to use the metaverse, we can say it is a kind of the effect of involution. Evolution means that we have the more and more people and want to have the more and more resources, but we do not have that much resource to support everyone's need. Then what do? We shift our requirement from the real world to the virtual world, to the metaverse. Okay, and then I will say in the next 1 or 2 decades, this is the trend. It's a trend of technology, and it's a trend of the human being and get involved. Okay. And so what do we need to have in this top of the pyramid? Okay, if no one knows you, then the self-actualization does not work. Okay, and we need to have identity. You need to know. We definitely need to have the social requirement. Okay, social requirement is a very basic requirement for human beings, even from the tribe era, from the very old age. We need to know others, and we want others to know ourselves, and then value our contributions in some community, right? And we need to have some assets. And also the interface of the appearance, because this is not the real world, we need to provide those. Actually, I said that in the first 4 layers, we do need to provide more technologies or advanced technologies to let the people experience, this self-actualization. And then that is very easy to know the NFT is a necessary thing in this metaverse. Okay, and I will say no NFT, no metaverse. Even though that the NFT right now is in most of the NFT right now in 2D, but with our technology, it can pave the road to the 3D, where with some VR or AR, and we can see our NFT in this virtual 3D space. And okay, so if we have the NFT, we have all identity, social assets. Okay, asset is something you own below yourself, but if you just have a asset and hold in your pocket, it's worth nothing. I would say the traditional financial system works so well, and you have the banks, you have different kind of financial product, you have the insurance, you have the bond, you have some stock, you have the exchange. Okay, you can have the mortgage for a house, and then you can also do some collateral, use your house or car as a collateral and to borrow some money out. I would say the liquidity is very important in the traditional financial system, and so it is in the DeFi. DeFi means the decentralized finance. Right? If we admit that, okay, we do not have that enough resources and to satisfy everyone's requirements in this Maslow's pyramid, and we need to shift to the cyber world, and we understand that the NFT is the first layer or the foundation of the metaverse. Then then you have the assets, okay, and we want this asset to also need to be liquid, and then we want to have our assets bring us more assets. So this is been done by the financial system, and it's very similar to the traditional financial system. In the DeFi, we also want to do what we want to. We also want to provide some people the exchange, provide the people the lending protocol. Give the people the chance to do the investment, and it's definitely a very fundamental requirement and to exchange different assets. Okay, so why we need to have DeFi in Metaverse is another question. Can we use the traditional financial system in the like Metaverse? The answer definitely is no, but we need to understand why. Because in the real world, the people has the physical restriction. Because, for example, I'm living in Canada, okay? Then I can just go to the bank branch and then to open my bank account. But the bank, those people working in the bank, they need to go home, okay? For example, in Canada, most of the time, the bank opens at 9 a.m. and closes at 4 p.m. And it's okay for a city, okay, because most of people have the similar lifestyle. But in the metaverse, we do not have this the territory restriction. Okay, so people in the network, you do not know what's the lifestyle of this person. People actually, this system need to run 24/7. And then we also we do not want to just have a centralized control, because I said that we have different universe in this metaverse, and no one knows who you are. So it's very, very easy to bring this concept in blockchain and DeFi into this stage, right? So you do not need to just wait until that 8 a.m. and to go to a bank to exchange US dollar for Canadian dollar. Just like if I have some Bitcoin and or W Bitcoin, I want to exchange with the WBTC with the WETH, then I can just use some DeFi protocol, exchange protocol to do that. Okay, and no one knows who I am. Okay, I can also use some bridge and to exchange the asset between different chains. So that is the that makes the DeFi is very promising. Okay, as a continuing service in the metaverse. So DeFi offers many of the financial services controlled by the computer code, and you know we have the smart contract. And the banks and other financial institutions have power over your fund. It's traditional, but in the DeFi, you do not need to worry about that. And we have also all of those kind of financial services or financial products in the traditional finance. And we also have the similar products that can be offered in DeFi. Like the lending protocols are we, I think that most of you should know are we. If not, you can just Google that. It is a kind of lending protocol, and it's a collateral lending. I can do some collateral and borrow some assets out, and also suffers from the liquidation risk, because it's I borrow some money with collateral, and then take long or short position in cryptocurrencies. Like the market prediction, we also have this product like Entropify. If you have not heard Entropify, you can also Google that. Earn returns through those yield farming. Actually, DAO is a very important concept also in Metaverse. I think I predict that in the next couple of years, some of the projects will shift. The more and more projects may shift to DAO. And like the Olympus DAO and the WestQ is a fork of Olympus DAO in the Polygon and Reducted. This is it's very it's also a very hot project. So it's kind of yield farming, is that you put your money into this protocol and then you will be given more. Okay, so this is also a very intrinsic requirement for DeFi users. And then we think about those NFT users or the Metaverse users, as long as this user want to have some self-fulfillment or achieve this this self actualization, then they need to do some investment. And then this is the why DeFi is very suitable and to launch these DeFi protocols in the metaverse. So those are the pillars in the decentralized finance, stable coins. We know that we have stable coins and lending and borrowings, exchanges, derivatives, insurance, and governance. Governance, I said, is DAO. Insurance, we do have some DeFi insurance products, derivatives, and exchanges. So we actually have all of them in DeFi. And so if any audience has any concern about this, or for any of them has not been heard, just Google that. And we do have a lot of useful tutorials. They are free and you can search on them. So as I said, okay, so why we want to have a DeFi with the traditional, as this figure answers the question why we cannot have the traditional financial system user. So because the user need to share the personal data in the traditional, and then unbanked and then underbanked cannot access traditional finance services. And also then we have the hours and operation constraints. Know that in the metaverse we do not have those territory, constraints. So other people work on this or join this metaverse 24/7, and then we do have those advantages in the. I'll just skip this. So we do have a lot of DeFi projects working on this, bridge the NFT value to DeFi. Okay, just narrow down to one of those aspects. how about the NFT and DeFi connected? We have the borrowing and lending like the Vara or the NFT-Fi. And the NFT fragmentation is also a well-known project. So people, for those very expensive NFTs, like the CryptoPunk, you can also have the NFT fragmentation makes sure that everyone can participate. NFT staking, when you stake the NFT, and it will also create some yield according to the market value and business model for sure. More kinds of NFTs in Metaverse. We do have those, the music NFTs, as we mentioned by the other speaker. And we have avatars. Cryptokitties was the very first NFT, and with the ERC 721. But right now we have a better standard. CryptoPunk, Bored Ape VR Club, and the Metaverse. We know the Metaverse was supported by the China IDE, or sorry, the Metaverse of White Matrix. And land and the constructions on that piece of land. We have this project like the Matrix World. It's also very successful projects, and people can just build more buildings and can build more constructions in this piece of land. And now we have in the last half year ago, maybe not half a year, or 4 or 5 months ago, we do have this script NFT, the Loots, maybe Sports, Momentum, the Top Shot, domain names, the ENS, and the arts and memes. Right now is also a very popular theme in the NFT. So I will use this funny picture and then to conclude this talk. So people say that this is the original pyramid, but right now people say, okay, I need more, I need Wi-Fi more than food. I need even battery and more than Wi-Fi because I cannot have my I cannot have my cell phone powered out. Powered up, and if we do not have battery. So this is the basic human needs. People still and feeling more, but I do one sentence to conclude this. I foresee that the metaverse is a good place and to make the every people happy in this Maslow's requirement pyramid. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Wang. And we have a question for you. Is that what do you think? What are the big differences between the Metaverse project in universities and other projects? Or in another way to say is that what makes a Metaverse project from academic side unique?
I think the people in the university, they are focused on two parts in the Metaverse research. One part is the technology. For example, then I'm from the ECE department, Electrical Computer Engineering department in UBC. So we are working on the technologies, including this 5G, 6G on this very core of this technology stack. And also we work on the edge computing, and then also try to increase the scalability of the blockchain in layer 1 and layer 2. So this is the one of the research, and the people are working on the on the academic side. Another point that people working on the academic side is about the data privacy, or more general is that how we can let more people to contribute their data, and but without leaking out their privacy. So in university, and people are working on the federated learning or privacy preserving learning. And I personally also doing some research in about the medical record training. So we can use some machine learning model. So you do not need to upload your data to the centralized server. I can just download some global model and use my local medical picture to do some training and to improve the accuracy and update the global model by changing the learning weights in neural network. So in that case, people do not need to leak out their private medical picture. It's also very useful if we think about the social welfare. In Canada, we have the free medical system, but in some of these countries, or most of the country, it's the patient's burden and to pay the fee for examination. And then, but if this results is just used free by those the pharmaceutical companies or the some other companies and for the profit, is actually unfair for those I would say people not very rich, right? Because those people pay the examination fee, but this medical record is used for free. Then I think that with this some research in the university, I think that is the second half I said, like the privacy preserving machine learning or the privacy learning. So if some people owns the medical record, then they can somehow bring the value to the research, but also they can get some compensation or return from this research results. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Our last speaker is Mr. Xiao Wu. He is.
Sorry, there is another person raised the hand.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. I have a real quick questions. So because you mentioned a lot about the differences between reality and the real world and the blockchain world that you just talked about. And because in real world, we know that assets value have different values, you know, gold value more than silver, right? For example. So what do you think is the, what makes a NFT value more than the other NFTs? So for example, crypto pumps are more value more than the other NFTs in the for example in the in the internet. What do you think is the main reason behind it?
Okay, so to answer your question, I think I need to emphasize that the gold or silver, they are just like, yeah, they are currencies for sure, okay? They are intrinsic currencies, no matter in which country you are, okay? The gold and silver, they have a lot of value. From that sense, I think the Bitcoin and the Ether, they are just the gold and silver in this blockchain world, not those NFTs. When we talk about NFT or the value of those tokens, we can compare those tokens with a fiat, like US dollar, Canadian dollar, Chinese yuan, okay, Indian rupee. This is the fiat, okay? So there are some people can just launch that, okay? And the value of the fiat is actually fluctuating a lot, not just like the gold and silver. So I think that a better question from your side is that how we can appreciate an NFT better than the other, or how we can appreciate this token better than the other. From this sense, I think that okay, I know this one may be recorded, but I will say that even the modern, the financial system, it is also a kind of Ponzi. It's the truth. Okay, so you know that due to the pandemic, okay, so a lot of governments just print a lot of money. It's a kind of inflation. Okay, so but why that you still want to preserve the US dollar than other currencies is the community. And the community is not just to say, okay, so people believe this country is good. It's all kind of, we know that most of the countries, they use US dollar for the oil business. Okay, if I want to buy some oil, then I need to, or the gasoline, I need to pay the US dollar. And then this is the dominant. This is the community. I will call this one is the community. And for the NFT, come back to your question. I think the NFT, the value of NFT determined by the community. Okay, and then a lot of those IP, the big IPs, and then if some movie star or singers, they launch some, and a lot of people want to purchase that. Because why? Because it's the community. Those fans of those people, okay, of those stars, they would like to have an NFT. Yeah. So that's my answer. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. So the core reason behind why NFT, one particular NFT is more popular is because the community behind the NFT, right? That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Are there any questions for Professor Wang?
Yeah, I think
No?
this is the this is the end of the thank you. I just want to say, okay, right now I'm launching auditing firm, and then if you are interested, you can contact me. You can find my contact in my university web page. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you again. Our last speaker is Mr. Xiao Wu, and he is the director of the Yangtze River Blockchain International Innovation Center and the CEO of White Matrix Incorporation. He has been invited to teach and share several open classes at Peking University, the Chinese University of Hong Kong, Nanjing University, and Xi'an Jiaotong University. He will be sharing something about the blockchain and Metaverse with us. Mr. Xiao, you may start whenever you're ready.
Cool. Hello, everyone. So my name is Wu Xiao, but you can just call me Ling, which is my developer name on the GitHub. I'm the CEO of White Matrix. It is a great pleasure for me to have this online session with our friends. Today, my topic is from blockchain to the metaverse. So I will start with a brief self-introduction so you guys can know me a bit more. I'm currently the director of Yangtze River Blockchain International Innovation Center and CEO of White Matrix. I pursued my bachelor's and master's degrees at the University of Alberta from 2010 to 2015. In 2019, I collaborated with Dr. Wei Cai, and our manuscript, An Interoperable Avatar Framework Across Multiple Games and Blockchains, was accepted to the top-ranked conference IEEE InfoComm. In 2020, I was awarded the first prize in China Blockchain Development Contest. I also do some research in the field of blockchain, and I have been invited to give public lectures, just as Paul mentioned. And yeah, I'm also a dApp designer and a coder. I have created several dApp games, and I have extensive experience in designing and smart contracts. Okay, that's enough about me. And next, I want to tell you some cool things about White Matrix. So White Matrix is a technology company that specializes in the research and development of blockchain middleware technology and the global developer ecosystem. ChainID, which was developed by White Matrix, is a cutting-edge cloud-based blockchain integrity development environment that supports blockchain ecosystems such as Ethereum, Dfinity, Binance Smart Chain, Flow, and many blockchains you just know. I think we have already supported that. And White Matrix has raised 4 rounds of financing, totaling around $15 million from several companies, including Ant Group and Hashkey. ChainID enables users to quickly invoke, query, develop, and deploy the underlying blockchain system services through simpler settings and commands. As of November 2021, I think last year, ChainID has assisted developers in more than 185 countries with over 8.5 million smart contracts compilation services and 70 million blockchain middleware flows worldwide. As the main flow entrance, ChainID intends to facilitate developers to explore new territories in the world of blockchain for earlier flows and more innovations. Up till now, ChainID supports Facebook Diem, N-Chain, Ethereum, Physical Beacons, Hyperledger, Fileloop, and 10 more significant blockchain infrastructures. And we are proud of the global developer ecosystem that we have developed. We offered free 8 weeks comprehensive courses on masterclass to develop across 40 countries in Africa, thus establish a connection with the local developers and the communities on the continent. The masterclass course has a view of more than 100,000 on YouTube and helped more than 1,000 African blockchain developers, thus incubating more than 50 blockchain projects. We co-host the BMDS 2021 webinar with University of Alberta to explore issues relating to data science of blockchain and multimedia. And also Zehua Jiao joined our, Professor Zehua joined our last BMDS, I think. And also experts from Citibanks, White Matrix, Best Buy, and Alta ML held a 3-day seminar with more than 30 students projects on the display. We also present our technology and developer ecosystems to G20 Young Entrepreneurs Aliens. And we have also made connections with thousands of smart contract designers in Indonesia and Singapore. We continuously exert ourselves at building up a worldwide blockchain developer ecosystem with the belief that the developers will bring the continuous innovations into the metaverse. So next, I want to talk about NFTs and the metaverse today. The cute kitties you see now are called Cryptokitties. This was the first step in the world that allowed people to have a cat on the blockchain. The technology behind these cats is called ERC 721. It is a standard, but it is not standard at that time because I remember CryptoPunk is a modification version of ERC 20. And after that, we have Cryptokitties, and they conclude and emphasize the whole things into ERC 721 after that. It is a standard for creating and trading NFTs on the Ethereum blockchain. Cryptokitties was widely successful after that, and NFTs boomed in the world. And as I mentioned, big names are hyped about NFTs. One recent example is Olympics NFTs made by NWayPlay and Flow, which is the official NFT collection for Tokyo 2020. IOC published the Olympics Heritage Collection NFTs in 2021 on June 17th. The main theme is traditional Olympics, art and design. They are split into common, real, epic, legendary 4 levels, and with different prices. And all of the NFTs sold out within 24 hours. And as myself, I also joined this party. I tried to purchase the Olympics NFT through Visa and also USDCs on the blockchain. So everything is fantastic. I can see my Olympics NFTs nowadays on my Flow ecosystems. We have also seen TikTok publish an NFT announcement in the New York Times. Facebook changed its names to Meta and become a metaverse companies. Microsoft said all the tech companies will get into the metaverse and show the world their metaverse project Mesh. Too many examples nowadays. I mean, in the middle one, you can see the British Museum. I have been there when I was the year of 10, I think. And yeah, nowadays they also join the NFT parties. And on the top left corner, you will see the time cats. So why you get the time cats NFT? Because you join the times NFTs, you try to mint the times NFT, but you cannot do that because too many people want to join. But they give you a souvenir, which is a time cat. After that, that means that you try to join the party, but you didn't get that. And on the top, on the left bottom, on the left corner, you will see the Adidas and BAYC. They collaborated to sell their NFTs. I think Adidas did a really great job. They sell about $20 million in one night, and after that they grow their revenues into $60 million after that. And on the right top corner, you will see Pepsi, and Pepsi also joined with this party, and of course Fanta Bear. So this is a portfolio of us. We collaborated with superstar, Chinese superstar Jay Chou, and their brand called Fantasy, and they have their mascot called Fanta Bear, and this project also became the top one on the OpenSea in the last month, I think. Yeah. There are too many cases nowadays. I do not need to spend more time to show you the examples. And I will try to use the rest time, try to answer 3 questions. The first question is, why do we need the metaverse? To answer this question, I first want to introduce what the metaverse is. So metaverse was coined in Neil Stephenson's 1992 science fiction novel, Snow Crash, where humans as avatars interact with each other and software agents in a 3D dimensional virtual space that use a metaphor of the real world. The novel is really interesting, but it is very thick and it takes time to read. So the 2018 film Ready Player One is a great visual interpretation of the metaverse, which is Ready Player One. So why do we need the metaverse? Let's think deeper about this question. It is a well-known fact that the resources on Earth are limited. Many of our preceders have tried to find new market in the past 100 years. If not, there are cruel battles and conflicts for the involved market. I think Professor Zehua just told us the evolution. What is the evolution means? So the involute market has the similar ideas. So in the age of exploration, the European seafarers tried to convince the kings to give them money so they could build ships and explore the seas. They also bought some rumors such as the city of gold. If they can find the city of gold, then all the European people will be wealthy. This is one example. They try to find a new market. Of course, we know they didn't find the city of gold, but they did find a new market in the end. New trading routes were established and many new opportunities arose. Many people my age may play a game called Uncharted Waters. The game is set in the age of exploration, and now the story continues. We see SpaceX was exploration of the space. The goal is kind of similar. If we find a new terrestrial planet, then all of the people on the earth will be kind of happy. So some friends may say, okay, I agree with your point about the incremental market, but most people are happy in the past decades. I mean, before the global recession. I think nowadays we are in a global recession due to the pandemic. So many people feel the global recessions when the coronavirus happens, but before that, everything is cool. So why this one has happened? I mean, why the coronavirus is very important? I think the things is because we have an international internet boom that we have in the past decades. We have seen a lot of big names come out of the boom, such as Google, Microsoft, and Amazon. Now, these big companies have a cross international market and they provide services worldwide. This is also a new kind of incremental market because they can provide services to all the countries around the world. And this is a brand new company, brand new market, and most internet companies boom in the last few decades. But nowadays, many internet companies are excited and looking for have more new areas also. This is because the internet services have already connected everywhere, which means there will be battles for the involute market again. So the question becomes, how can we create an everlasting new market? To move from a limited market to an unlimited market, we need a paradigm shift. This is where the Metaverse comes in. The Metaverse can create an unlimited experience with really low marginal cost, which is code. If we can create a Metaverse, it can provide billions of people with knowledge, opportunities to collaborate, entertainment, and the real world will only need to generate electricity and code. This will create an increment market because we can create everything's code in the Metaverse. In the recent years, there haven't been any sufficient technology breakthroughs and the world is unstable again. We see tense situations between countries and turbulent world economies. This implies that we are in a global recession now. We really need to build a Metaverse and create an incremental market nowadays. And in the Metaverse, code is miracles with endless possibles. The second question will be, why does the Metaverse need blockchain? So for the blockchain, I think we all agree with the original definition from economists. I mean, in 2015, the economists published the article named The Promise of the Blockchain. It tells about the operating logic behind Bitcoin and blockchain and the role this trust machine can play in the future. I agree on this article, and we will start with this point. For now, we all agree we need to build a Metaverse to find an incremental market. So the key question is, which type of the Metaverse do we want to build? The first one is just like Tencent and NVIDIA try to propose. It is the lifelike virtual reality on the internet. I think most big companies want to build this type of Metaverse. This type of Metaverse is immersive and lifelike, but it is still controlled by big names. There's one example I can use to explain this point. No matter how realistic this kind of Metaverse is building, you probably cannot play games from their competitors in the Metaverse. This is just like a closed ecosystems. If you want to use an application from another company, you need to log out and use another platforms. I mean, nowadays, if you try to access 10 different internet services, you really need to log out nowadays. But in the future, when you enjoy an immersive application inside the metaverse, but you need to log off every time and log in for a long time, for a lot of time. That is really disturbed on me. The other kind of metaverse is a blockchain-driven metaverse. In the blockchain industry, everything is connected. This is a distributed ledger that contains all of your cryptocurrency transaction data. There are smart contracts that can tooling complex logic and store your game assets, such as NFTs. All dApps can get into your metaverse, and your equipment can use in multiple games and applications. This is a huge difference. I mean, nowadays, if you check my RSS3, and you can see all my NFTs and all my posts and all the articles I try to rewrote on the blockchains, they are all exhibited on RSS3. And also you can see the OpenSeas. The OpenSea can get all of my NFTs, and I can control all my NFTs on OpenSeas. I mean, everything is connected in Web3, and a blockchain-driven metaverse is open, interoperable, and connected. So I think in the future, maybe one Web3 application cannot beat the big names metaverse, but all the Web3 applications, they are connected. And as a whole, they can beat up the big names metaverse. The third question is how we build the metaverse. Here I propose 3 elements to get the genesis of the metaverse. The first element is perception. The perception is the layer we perceive the metaverse. There are a lot of opportunities in this area, such as VR, AR, MR, game engine, ray tracing algorithms, render algorithms, and the brain-computer interface, and etc. There are too many opportunities in this one. And also the second one is regulations. This is the layer where blockchain should jump in the open, connected, and metaverse. All the main rules should be transparency and also auto-executed. If there is no blockchain involved, we can only build isolated worlds with closed ecosystems. Blockchain means Web3, means open source native, means connected. I mean, all the blockchain designers should join the regulation layer because we can build up a Web3 metaverse, and that is more interesting. The third one is mass production. I always think the mass production should be 5G, 6G, IoT, and edge computing for something. I mean, for sometimes before. For now, I really believe the mass production should be UGCs and AIGCs. In the future, AI will help us generate fantastic metaverse, and we can learn, we can create, and we can enjoy the endless world with the help of AI. And in the end, I try to share you some metaverse projects nowadays. Again, we see TikTok, they try to publish an NFT announcement. And also we see TikTok collaborate with Immutable X, and they try to issue their NFTs for their creators, for their short video creators. And also we see Metaverse Seoul try to build up the Metaverse infrastructures due to the pandemic. Many people cannot do the city size things in Seoul, but they can provide a Metaverse Seoul, and the people around the world can also visit Seoul and know their culture, know their technology, and know their city size things through the metaverse. And this one is very interesting. And also, I think CityDAO is hyped recently. We see the mayor of Miami try to issue their Miami coins. And also we see the mayor from New York also trying to join the party. And this is really interesting because we see the mayor on the television said in the future, the Miami people may get their social welfare through Bitcoins or Miami coins. I mean, this one is really important because due to the pandemics, many city constructions, infra constructions become online. You need to build your metaverse cities, and you need to have your own economies. So maybe in the future, not only Miami and New York, maybe also other cities will try to issue their own tokens and build up their cities into the metaverse. And also we see Flow and NBA Top Shot. Yeah, of course, NBA joined the party, and many fans and many people really love NBA Top Shot. They generated about $100 million per month in the last year, and lots of people really enjoy the party. And we also see some blockchain-driven metaverse, of course, Sandbox, Decentraland, CryptoVoxels. I really love these three projects, and they try to build up everything on the blockchain. At least their lands and their NFTs are built on the blockchain, and they may have their own logic for the front end. And also we see the blockchain-driven metaverse with Matrix World, and this is also one of our portfolio. And we try to collaborate with Matrix Labs and co-build the whole metaverse. And for the Matrix World, what we're trying to do is we try to get everything connected. So everyone knows that the Flow and the Ethereum have different consensus algorithms. But what we want to do is we want to generate the multi-chain connectivities. We want to let the user can buy Flow's NFTs, and meanwhile, they can use the Ethereum's DeFi, and that is more interesting because for the users, they can enjoy different services from different blockchain and from different ecosystems. And that is more important for the Web3 project because we want everything to be connected. And that's it for my today's topic. If you have any questions, I'm willing to answer.
I have a little question for you, Mr. Wu.
Okay.
And could you elaborate a little bit more about how internet interact with the metaverse currently and what the combinations will have in the future?
So nowadays, if we see the blockchain-driven metaverse, the most important thing is we get every NFTs connected. This one is really important because every transactions was stored on the blockchain, and that means you can get all your activities, you can get all your experience, and you can get all your equipment and NFTs from the blockchain. If you get signed with MetaMask or Blockto, I can generate all your data from the blockchain and I know who you are. This one is may call decentralized ID, but this one can help the games and help others to identify who you are. Maybe they do not know your names, but they know, hey, yeah, this player get one CryptoPunk. This player gets the Pope from the MetaMask celebrations. This player try to write articles on the blockchain, and we can know he try to show his understanding and show his visions of blockchain on the everything was in the Web3. So this one is really important for the blockchain-driven metaverse. And I think for the big names, the metaverse, maybe the Web2 metaverse, the big names try to build up some immersive and some virtual world that everyone can play and everyone can try to create their own games. I'm not sure, but I think for the Web3, the most important thing is collaborate and try to build up the metaverse together. Maybe something related to NFTs and the UGCs. Yeah.
All right. Are there any questions for Mr. Wu?
Okay.
No? Okay. I guess here's the end of today's webinar. If you still have questions, please feel free to share with us in our Telegram group. Also, a warm reminder for you that don't forget to private meet Amanda to get your book, and don't forget to meet your Pope. And it's so nice to stay with you tonight, and thank you for being with us today. We will see you again next time. We have a great night. Bye-bye.
Bye.